So this first tip is quite a simple one, really, but it's going to help you out quite a bit when it comes to prioritizing which items to hunt down on your character and which ones to prioritize in your limited storage space. And that is simply understanding that every single weapon type has an associated stat that is always attached to that weapon type. Some of the weapon bonuses are as follows. We're looking at plus critical strike damage on swords. This is both one-handed and two-handed. We're looking at bonus overpower damage on maces. Daggers have plus damage against close enemies, and bows have plus damage against distant enemies, which kind of sucks for almost every single class in the game. Actually, crossbows right now are so much more powerful than bows, because of their attached stat, which is plus damage to vulnerable enemies. So particularly as a rogue, you want to be prioritizing, like I am right now, replacing your bow as soon as possible with a crossbow for damage against vulnerable enemies, because your enemies are going to be vulnerable almost all the time, and vulnerability damage is just so powerful. So this next tip is actually two tips rolled into one, and both of these are huge. If you take anything away from this video, let it be these couple of tips. It's going to help you out a lot. And yeah, help you gear up your character much more efficiently. We have here a set of gloves that I want to equip onto my rogue and imprint with a new aspect. Now you will notice that these gloves provide +3 ranks of penetrating shot, which is a key skill in this rogue's build. And this tip is specifically for pieces of gear that provide plus ranks to your key skills and abilities. Because if you upgrade your gear at the blacksmith, typically, you will not get any increases to the plus ranks affix on your gear, unless you level up the piece of gear beyond a certain item power threshold. What does that mean? It means that all of these item power threshold numbers that you're seeing on the left side of the screen right now, if you can upgrade a piece of gear such that it just crosses over one of those item power thresholds and it gets over the mark, for example, these gloves are item power 807. If I get them up to 825, then what's actually going to happen is we will get an extra rank to our penetrating shot. And that is massive for min-maxing your character. So please make a note of these item power thresholds right here. And we're going to go ahead and actually upgrade the hell out of these gloves right now. No upgrade. No upgrade, but this one right here provides an extra rank to our penetrating shot. Huge stuff, god damn it. Alright, now next up, if we just slam these gloves on my character real quick, we're going to show how to get the most out of your extracted aspects for legendary effects that you want to pick up and use from a piece of gear that you've picked up here. Right here we have the Bone Weave Gauntlets of Arrow Storms. Now, you might notice that this aspect contains fixed numbers. What I mean by that, it's not a percentage effect, it's not an effect with a duration or whatever. It deals a fixed amount of damage numbers, in this case 3, 9, 2, 7 damage in an arrow storm effect. Any legendary aspect that contains fixed numbers like this can be upgraded at the blacksmith to increase the potency of the arrow storm effect. And so as you can see, as we upgrade this piece of legendary gear at the blacksmith, the numbers are actually pumping up, right? So we kind of inflate the numbers that are on these fixed damage aspects, and then, yeah, you can go ahead and extract them and print them on your gear. All grand. Now, it is important to note that if you extract this legendary aspect before upgrading the legendary, so it's an unupgraded legendary aspect, and then you imprint it on a piece of gear and upgrade that piece of gear, it will not have the same effect. As soon as you have extracted the aspect from a piece of gear, it is a fixed snapshot of that legendary effect, and it will not be tuned up as you upgrade a piece of gear that it was imprinted onto. So definitely beware of that. Tip number 3, and this is more of a tip that's going to become much more relevant heading into Season 1, so maybe I should have saved it for that, but screw it, we're putting it in here, and that is to be clearing your strongholds as you level. This is going to be so crucial. Clearing strongholds like this on the map as you level up is going to ensure that whatever dungeons might be associated with the area of the stronghold, which not all strongholds have dungeons in the area, but a lot of them do, it ensures that these dungeons are going to be unlocked by the time you hit endgame. And why is that so important? Well, By the time Season 1 rolls around, Nightmare Sigils are going to be drastically overhauled. When you are using your sigils to empower dungeons, you will be automatically teleported to the dungeon that you activate the sigil for. That means that you can just be spamming your way through Nightmare Sigils in order to level in Season 1 once you are above level 50. However, if you don't have the dungeon unlocked, because you didn't do the goddamn Stronghold, then that's going to be a bit of a problem, right? So again, simple tip here, one more to keep in mind for the future for new players and players going into Season 1 alike, and yeah, bear in mind. So this next here tip is Paragon Board related, and just being as efficient as possible with your Paragon Board, namely because respecking and kind of specking out of things not only does it cost gold, but it's kind of tedious to rebuild your board if you've messed it up. So yeah, here's some tips on how to not do that, and hopefully y'all can actually spot the mistake that I've made here on this Paragon Board for the purpose of this demonstration, and that is, why on earth am I making a beeline here towards this attachment gate? It makes no sense. Even when I get there, it's just a bunch of kind of like semi-useless, unimpactful stats here that I'm picking up. I unlock the Paragon Board attachment gate, and then what? I've got to spend 1 point on 5 dexterity, 5 strength, 5 willpower. A bunch of super unimpactful tiles are waiting for me, super unimpactful nodes rather, are waiting for me on the other side of this Paragon gate. So, the tip is simply, if you do not have enough Paragon points to not only reach the board attachment gate, but also at least reach a rare node on the other side of the board, on your next Paragon board, then don't even bother going towards the gate. Instead, you might as well dump these points into other magic nodes. And just wait. Be patient. Fill out the current board that you're on, pick up a bunch of magic nodes, a bunch of rare nodes, veer around a little bit, experiment with the legendary node, which I've done and I didn't find it that great, actually, so maybe I'll have to rethink that a little bit, but either which way, splash out on your current board and actually make sure that you have a bunch of points banked up before you head into your next Paragon board, so you avoid just, building a ton of really crappy, useless points that aren't really doing anything for you, when you can instead be sitting on blues until you are ready to expand to a new board. There's probably a tip in here somewhere too, but I guess it's much too class specific that I'll just kind of dust over it, and it's something for y'all to think about. You might even want to level various glyphs to level 15 before you move on to new Paragon boards to make sure that you're getting the most out of a really powerful rare glyph. Why is it important to get the glyph to level 15? Because, the glyph's radius of effect expands once the glyph hits level 15, and yeah, you can really squeeze an exceptional amount of value, even just out of a couple of Paragon boards, until you are ready to expand to the next board. Yeah, that's that really. And when you're ready to expand to the next board, and I have like a bunch of Paragon points ready to go and ready to send over here, I could pull some points from, some defensive stuff up here, or pull a couple of points here from things like Berserking Duration, and then eventually make that leap once I actually have, maybe a dozen points to spend on the new board when that time comes, and once I have that many points banked up. Mostly just a cute little efficiency tip, but yeah, respecking your Paragon board sucks a lot, so hopefully it helps some people out. Alright, that'll about do it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. If you took anything away from it at all, that'd be grand. So thanks for stopping by, enjoy the rest of your day, and I shall catch all of you guys just a tad bit later.